Hello, everybody. Welcome. And look who's here with me. Hi, Resting Dollface. Can you hear me? Dollface, I think you're muted.
Yes, sorry. I thought I hit the button and I did not. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Happy, what day is it? Wednesday?
Yes. Hey, revealing. Guess what day it is?
How many more sleeps until rest? I don't know.
I know, right? Well, it depends. Are we doing like catnap rest or, how many sleeps are we doing here?
Megan has just been there are so many videos that need to be made from her behavior in the last week and a
Hmm.
half. Like, I need her to just stay home for a little bit. Just don't come out. Let us catch up.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like more manic, like, by the way it looks, or I don't at the same time it reminds me of the end scene of Scream 4, right? Where Emma Roberts comes out, spoiler alert, but Emma Roberts comes out and everything she did was for those flashing cameras. That was her moment. She set up the whole thing just for that, and it's just been that nonstop for Megan.
Yeah, that's what it is. I actually just posted on X a video from her own Instagram because now what? Let me say hi to everybody. Sorry, everyone. We just get carried away. We get started and it's great. We have so much to talk about. Hi, Carol and Lizzie. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you both so much. Hi, Tune the News and Pink Jeep TJ. Welcome, welcome. I appreciate you all. I hope you're all having a good day. Hi, Susan G. And Crispy Moon Puppy. Hi.
Oh, I like these names. Hello,
Yeah.
everyone. And hey, Carol. Hey, Lizzie. Oh, like we got so many other regulars and some new people, huh?
Mhm. Hi, Duchessa Francis. Thanks for being here. And Lisette and Donata. Hi, Lulu Peacock and Letitia. Hi, Kristen. Thank you, everyone, for being here. What I thought we would talk about today, well, before we get into it, I'm going to ask that all of you, oops, you always have to remove what was the last thing you uploaded in order to get what you want, which is
Uh-huh.
kind of counterintuitive, right? Like, you assume if you click on the icon, what you want is going to pop up, but no, it doesn't work
Right.
like that. So, everyone, I would like to ask that all of you, in lieu of super chats and super stickers, if you could please donate instead or consider donating to the National Domestic Violence Hotline. Their information is here on the screen if you need to reach out to them, and I hope that you don't. But if you do, it's right here. They have the phone number, the chat, and text right here for you. And the link to donate is in the description of this video. And our special guest today is Resting Dollface. She is on YouTube and on X and on Instagram. So give her a like, a follow, a subscribe. If you haven't uh, interacted or seen or heard anything from, oh, looks like I got a package.
I
Did
hope
you
it's not
get
like my package. I got a surprise package. We'll talk about that later.
it? um, but yeah, so if you haven't heard of Resting Dollface, I highly recommend go follow her, go subscribe. You're just so great, Dollface. Like, I just have such a good time chatting with you.
No, right back at you. Like this has just been so nice. And I gotta say, like, just looking back at things and spoiler alert about one of the things so and so is gonna bring up, one of the great things about all of, social media was being able to connect with people all across the world and make new friendships, right? So, so grateful for, being introduced to you and just, hitting it off like we did.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree. I agree. And I really love the circle that we've created.
Yes.
And yeah, it's just so lovely to be able to lean on so many people and then the community itself. Like, I don't know if you've seen, but if you ever go into the comment section of my videos, people will share their experiences and the amount of support and love that I see between people. It's so heartwarming to see
Mhm.
all of that. I love it. I mean, we do get the the occasional squatty. There's actually this one person, and I want to say it's a woman because the picture is a woman, but you never know. But this person comes and is always, you can tell it's copy and paste. Like they're going to all these accounts and just saying, Megan, blah, blah, blah. And look, you're always talking about her, blah, 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 blah. And I have come to find that I like this person. So I always respond. Like, hey, good to see you. Welcome back. Like,
Weird.
if you ever want to join a live, welcome.
Yeah, I was about to say the way they just copy and paste, it reminded me of Idiocracy when they're like, "But plant it has the electrolytes plants crave." Whenever you just see somebody like repeating the same message, but now you're all like, "No, come on, we miss you if you're not there."
Yeah. Yeah. I have a story for you, and this might resonate with some people in the audience. A couple of years ago, oh, this is such a good lesson, I think, for everybody. And okay, so a couple of years ago, I was on a dating um, website. And for whatever reason, the person I was chatting with, like I had just met them, they were like, hey, let's go over to WhatsApp. Okay, so lesson learned, and I should know this because I watch true crime. You never go to the second location. Don't go to the second location. Like there's no reason, and I say that because whenever there's something dangerous happening and someone wants to take you to a second location, your chances of survival decrease a lot if you go
I
to the
know, but
second
the fact that
location.
you're like, I should have known, and you're saying, but I didn't do it. And I'm like, do we need to like just go into a private room real quick and have a talking to? Like you're scaring me here. What
Oh,
happened?
no, no. So it's all good. It actually shows a lot of growth on my part. So I go to the WhatsApp page, and what I noticed was that when I would talk to this person, they would respond very quick with paragraphs. And then I would ask a question, as the natural, like if they asked me a question, then I asked it back to them and then they would respond very quick. So I was like, okay, that is really suspicious. Like, how are you typing it so fast? And then
Hmm.
this person claimed to be in the military. And I mentioned in a live stream before that I'm Armenian. So I mean, I was born in America. I've never been to Armenia, but I know what the time zone is over there. So this person claimed that they were part of the American military, but they were out in that area of the world. And they told me what time it was there. I'm like, no, it's not. No, it's not.
Uh-huh.
so so I figured it out. The guy was a scammer. I mean, I don't know who it was behind that screen.
Yeah.
But this is scammers and narcissists and cluster B personalities. They all approach things the same way. They're looking for vulnerable people. They love bomb you in order to get something, whether that's money or it's fuel or whatever. And then also what I noticed was that the the WhatsApp account was a business account, and apparently you can you can't accept money on regular WhatsApp accounts, but at the time, WhatsApp Business could accept money. So this
Oh,
guy was definitely a scammer for sure. Oh, and
yeah.
look, look, just perfect timing.
I mean, you can't make this up.
You can't. You really can't.
Oh, can I give a shout out, Paul? That's so sweet of you. That's so
Yeah.
nice. Thank you.
Yeah, Resting Dollface is seriously the best. We're texting all the time.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm
Like
not imagining this, right? Like you did see that too. Um, and don't even get me started on Paris again because I was like, something's wrong.
it's too much. It's too
Yeah.
much. And you know what I thought was so awesome? That Megan had to clap back at the Sidley twins because the Sidley twins had said like they think she went from Paris straight to New York.
Yeah.
She had to clap back in the interview yesterday, like, no, I flew home.
I had to
Okay.
hug my babies and then it flew right back over here.
Oh
And
my
yeah, thank you for the view, Megan. And if you're watching, take our ideas and write them down. We're not asking you for credit. We're asking you to do something different. Okay, like stop being you. It's just not working.
yeah, this isn't hate. This is constructive criticism.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Should I get the video started?
Oh yes, please.
All right. Okay. So let
all
me
over the place, and we were talking.
Okay. Okay. So how do you want to do this? Because I feel like we're gonna have a lot to say.
Oh gosh. I think it's just best because I haven't seen the whole thing. I've seen clips, okay?
Mhm.
So let's just take this in real time, and if you find something else you want to skip to, we'll go from there. Let's just wing it.
I haven't watched it all the way through either, so it's gonna be wild for all of us. So, okay, here we go.
Backstage about how, yes, you've been to Europe. You were just in New York, which congratulations. You just won a humanitarian award for your
Thank
work
you.
with online safety for parents and children. And you made it home for one day to see your kids.
Yes, I had to. We were talking about that because everyone said, "Oh, you must have gone from Paris straight to New York." I said, "No, I need to see my babies."
Okay, not everyone was saying that. The Sibley twins were saying that, Megan.
Right? Okay, and it's just me, but it's kind of weird how for that part, they didn't even have the camera on her. What's that say? Right? Like it's her turn to talk and they're like, "Nope, we're just going to keep it on the host."
They really do Megan a solid with that. Well, I don't know that they do a solid because we catch so many of the mask slips, but I think that's one of the techniques that's being used, that when she looks ridiculous or they wanna hide it, they don't show her face.
Or like when her and I don't know how else to describe it, but it looks like her whole mouth gets dried and stuck on her
Mhm.
gums. That
Mhm.
weird thing, and then she does that whole that Jim Carrey face when he had dry mouth from Me, Myself, and Irene. And then she does that weird like teeth licky thing. Yes,
Mhm.
something's going on that they have it on the host instead of the guest.
So Crispy Moon Puppy is saying that the Victoria Beckham Netflix success is going to put her in a bad spiral.
I
Uh,
can see that
yeah. I
because I
haven't
mean,
watched it yet.
you notice how and I love Victoria. I'm not gonna spend too much on that, but like she's like, they do that funny thing where she's like, if he thinks this is gonna be his scene, he can forget it. This is my show. And you're just like, oh, Victoria. And now Megan's going around this whole thing talking about how the importance of financial independence. And I'm like, so earlier in the year they said she's shopping a divorce book. Now it's all about women's financial independence. I feel like she's future pacing what's gonna happen.
Well, so my thought is that this is Fortune 500 or Fortune whatever. So she had to talk money.
Mhm.
So I'm not that I don't see that coming out of left field because it is a financial thing. Did you see my video of how she copied Melody Hobson?
Yes, that was creepy because that Melody Hobson, if I'm not mistaken, that was the same time Megan was on stage with the guy who was interviewing, right? And she was wearing the poppy or something. And
Mhm.
Melody was like, no, the importance of oh wow, Dan Wooten just said the same thing. Okay, cool. So I'm not imagining it. No, but like that Melody had said, this is why it's important to have representation. This is why it's important to have diversity. And they went to Megan, and Megan says, the diversity may not be reflected in the backgrounds of our staff, meaning at Archwell and everything. She goes, but it's definitely diverse in ideas. And I'm like, wow.
I'm actually, for people that haven't seen it, I'm gonna pull up that video that I made yesterday. I have a lot to say about it. It deserves its own YouTube video
Hmm.
because what Melody is communicating and what Megan is receiving are two completely different things. And
Yes.
I'll explain what I mean by that, but let me pull it up. And unfortunately, I had to clip the video so that I could to keep people's attention. People aren't going to sit and watch a 45-second reel, but
Right.
when it's a YouTube video, I can show exactly what Melody said and how Megan responded to that. And before we
One of these
start it,
issues that is
before we start it, I want to introduce and say that this interview where Melody is speaking here, this was in 2021, and Megan was there too. Megan was part of this interview. There was a gentleman that was actually interviewing the both of them together. So Megan was in conversation with Melody about this topic. So here we go. I'm going to play it really quick.
this is one of these issues that is this idea of financial literacy and our unwillingness to speak about money is causing us to actually widen the gaps that exist in our society. But even the closest of friends won't sit together and speak about money issues.
Financial literacy, for that reason, is something that I spend a lot of time on, specifically for young girls and their empowerment. There's nothing taboo. Doesn't need to be anything taboo about talking about our financial independence. I don't think it's a conversation we should shy away from. I think it's one that we should really embrace together.
Okay.
So now she's talking about that. And that's where that change is what I'm talking about. Because before she was going on and on as a mother, and I'm picturing leaving, as ever, or this lifestyle brand behind and sharing it with Lily, right? Like she was making it a family affair, and the kids and their jars, and being down at the farmers market. And now all of a sudden it's about financial literacy. And I've yet to name one organization, Megan, that you've called in and done a Zoom, thing where girls were like, show me one thing where you have mentored somebody, because we know what happened with your 40 by 40, where you have said something like, maybe somebody was like, oh, I just want to get married and do this. And she's like, do you have a dream in your heart? One of those things, like you've seen that the other people do. Show us one thing, and then I'll give her the time of day about it. All she's doing is, I feel like, just regurgitating buzzwords.
Wasn't there something where she had asked people on Archwell to, I don't know, write short stories or write stories or whatever, and then it would be submitted to Archwell, but in the fine print, it said that it would belong exclusively to Archwell, or they could do whatever they want with whatever, like they would have ownership of whatever it is that people contributed. Do you remember that?
I do. And so basically it was share your story, share your story, share your stories. And I feel like, and this is just personal speculation, they were doing that because they were trying to get ideas, get a feeling for what the public out there wanted. Yeah, I mean, what better way to do it and be like, oh, what about this story? We've heard this kind of same thing happening over and in my opinion, that's probably what they would have been out there, pitching to Netflix or Spotify.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
So the reason that what I want to expand on in my future YouTube video is what Melody is talking about money.
Mhm.
It's talking about how you spend money. It's talking about your debt. It's talking about your credit. It's talking about all of it. But Meghan jumps in and says, yeah, you need to talk about your successes. No, girl, you lost the message.
Yeah.
This
Because
isn't about talking about how much money you're making. That's not financial literacy.
Yeah.
How much are you spending?
And especially in the world, you would think she would have caught that, because she and Harry claim to be all about protecting our children from the dangers of social media. Financial literacy is part of that. And that's understanding that you don't have to spend all this money to keep up with the Joneses, that what you see on social media is the highlight reel. It's fake. It's people pretending to be things in order to get their 10 minutes of fame. Right. So instead of it being all about, and I appreciate Melody, because she was saying this in 2021, and this was years after everybody trying to keep up with the Kardashians, right? And people got really caught up in the whole influencer scam type thing, going broke. And it was about actually understanding how finances work. Dave Ramsey had taken off and everything. Like he really became mainstream about stuff. And nobody was talking about it like Melody was. And she covers the whole thing, because people were getting into like $100,000 college debt for, getting a master's in underwater basket weaving.
Yeah. Thank you, Carol, for sending that to me. I have such a long to-do list of things that I want to study of Meghan, and this interview was at the top. And this is why when Meghan said that financial literacy, the switch flipped in my head. I remembered exactly this part of this interview. The interview itself is, I don't know, 25 minutes long maybe, and this is maybe in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there is so much that was said. And I'm sure Meghan was probably interrupting Melody left and right, because in the clip I made, actually, you can hear Meghan say, like she was getting ready to jump in and interview.
It very
I mean,
much reminded me of that
Israel.
clip you had where the lady was interviewing, like Meghan was in between the lady and Sarah
Mhm.
Rafferty. And
Mhm.
Meghan was like, she then joins the opposite side. Just look at me, my attention, that kind of thing. In fact, we should do something about that whole Melody interview because I'm telling you, it is Melody, was via satellite or whatever, and Meghan was in person after some alleged court win. I think it was right after she won the Mail on Sunday thing, and they had to post it online and she won $1 or something, right? When you listen to the difference between an educated woman like
Mhm.
Melody who has a message and then you listen to Meghan, you're wondering, why is Meghan there?
Mhm. Yes. Yes.
I wouldn't even like when you pay attention to what Meghan says, this is my opinion. I wouldn't hire her to be an intern getting coffee. No, she's that out of touch. An
She really
intern, an intern will tell you this is what's trending, this is what we need to do, this is how we pivot, this is this. She's still stuck in 2011, 2013, 2014.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she definitely is. I mean, sometimes the issues that she brings up are like from the 1950s,
Not
right?
even, my gosh, like, and she says it all the time. I'm from California. I'm from California, and I posted it on my ex. You do know women were allowed to have bank accounts because her version of financial literacy makes it seem like we didn't know we could have bank accounts. That's how in the dark ages she is,
Mhm, mhm.
you know? And California, I want to say it was 1864 or something like that. So California, Little Miss, I'm Southern California girl, allowed women. It wasn't a federal law yet. It was what, 1972, 76, something like that, that
Mhm.
they passed the federal thing. So here she is spouting it, and she is 56. I mean, look at what she did with the Queen. I'm here for women's empowerment and gender equity. The Queen is the longest female reigning
Mhm.
monarch.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
worked on cars during
Mhm,
World War II. She was a mechanic. You don't
mhm.
get more, gender equity, gender equality than that.
Yeah. Thank you, Michelle. I'm glad you're here too. Yeah, I I can't with Megan. I really can't. Someone just said something. Yep, Deborah says out. No, oops, it moved too fast. Lizzie says out of touch and out of date. Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. Okay, so look, we're 22 minutes into it and we've watched like 10 seconds of the video.
Well, it's
So,
not her hugs, it's her that's jarring.
yeah,
Okay? Like, it's not hugs, Megan. It's not hugs.
yeah, yeah. It might be the bare feet.
Like
Okay, here we go. Let me add it back and
Oh,
let's.
went back to California for a day and then continued on. But I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you.
Of course, and always job number one. So I want to rewind about 5 years ago when you and your husband left England and you descended on Montecito, California, and you planned what your next few years would look like in terms of the business impact you could have and the philanthropic impact you could have. And a lot of initiatives are going. But I want to just go back to that moment of as you and your husband were planning this out, how did you think about what you wanted to do, what your ambitions could do?
Before,
okay,
okay, do you think this
she was
woman was given instruction to not say Harry's name?
you caught that too, that's exactly what I was gonna ask. Like, she caught herself and she's like, your husband, not Harry." Like, but she like, if you back it up, she actually looks at the crowd almost like to say, "We all know who he is,"
Yeah.
right? Like, this is why she's important. And
Oh,
then she says it twice, your husband. She won't call him H, she won't call him Harry, she won't call him Prince Harry, she won't say Duke of Sussex,
yeah. Here,
which
let's
is
put
weird because they keep calling her in here Meghan, Duchess of Sussex.
how she has devalued him
Mm-hmm.
to the point of it seems like giving people instruction to not say his name.
That's creepy. I
That
can't
it's seriously terrible.
look, we know Chrissy Teigen made a name for herself for being John's wife and her weird faces, and she even did it on Meghan's show, from the clip that I saw. But she hasn't done what Meghan's done here, and it's just so devaluing.
Mhm. Okay, so I rewinded it a little bit, so we might catch it again. Also, I hope the audio is okay of the video. So, people in the audience, if it's too loud, let me know because I can adjust the audio of the video a little bit. But here we go.
And you descended on Montecito, California, and you planned what your next few years would look like in terms of the business impact you could have and the philanthropic impact you could have. And a lot of initiatives are going. But I want to just go back to that moment of as you and your husband were planning this out,
That is
how
a
did you
weird
think
pause.
about what you wanted to do, what your ambitions could do, and from your seat, what you could do for women?
Well, I think 5 years ago was a very different situation for all of us. And, Archie was so little, and I had just gotten pregnant with Lily around that same time. So we were nesting and healing, and also, I don't know if I had the bandwidth at that time to think about what the big picture dream was. There was no plan. It was
There was no plan.
Really? Because we all learned in 2021 or 2020, one of the two, that she'd been talking to Netflix and pitching them deals since February 2018.
And again, just as Space Cadet Lisa is pointing out, healing from what?
Yeah.
She always has to talk.
I mean, but that's the narrative she's sticking with. So again, it's future pacing. This whole book idea, whether it's a divorce book or her memoirs, because she keeps saying chapters. I'm in my chapter. I'm in this chapter. I'm in that. Meghan is very specific with the language that she uses. Looking at it from an NLP standpoint, even when the person just said your husband, she took a pause, almost like that whole embedded command NLP thing. So that way, there's still the impact to remind you of who her husband is and their rank and status without taking the spotlight from her, because then they immediately cut to her and it says Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, founder, as ever.
Yeah. Yeah. Like La Film Scene, or maybe LA Film Scene, is saying Archie was Prince George's code name. This is why I believe, in my opinion, that Meghan is a malignant narcissist, not just an ordinary narcissist. She wants to hurt those people that have wronged her.
Yeah, and it's even if it's just wronging her in her mind. If she were to take something the wrong way, wasn't intended that way, nobody ever said it. Kind of like when she said that whole thing, that they called her baby the that certain, derogatory term. There were no articles about that. You
Yeah.
couldn't find that.
Yeah.
But she still swears to this day that they did.
Yeah. 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 Okay. I'm going to press play again. Let's continue.
just, let's get through these next couple years, create community, which was always so important to both of us in our new environment. And then as we started to get into our producing, through our deal with Netflix, really creating projects that we felt were compelling. And then I
She's
said,
shaking.
okay.
Did you catch that? Like when she gets into the producing thing, she kind of shakes like nervous, like in her head, in her neck there, if you watch it.
Okay, I'll play it again.
Nesting and healing, and also, I don't know if I had the bandwidth at that time to think about what the big picture dream was. There was no plan. It was just, let's get through these next couple years, create community, which was always so important to both of us in our new environment. And then as we started to get into our producing, through our deal with Netflix, really creating projects that we felt were compelling. And then I said, okay, I've always loved being able to share. I've always loved being able to cook and entertain. Is there a business here?
No,
And I think it was probably
Meghan. I'm sorry, but we all know that whole create community thing. I'm just going to say it. Kim Kardashian named herself cleaning up people's closets. She got on Entertainment Tonight saying how she was somebody who was really smart, could tell what was going to be trendy. She would make a loan from her dad and say, hey, Dad, I want to borrow this much money. I'm going to buy this much of this product, some designer thing. And sure enough, he would loan her the money. She would buy it. She would sell it like on eBay at the time, whatever. She did have a good sense about that, okay? But she was laying the groundwork. She appeared on the hills, because of her brother or stepbrother. And so she was, getting her name out there and doing stuff like that. In my opinion, this was not, Megan just making people pots of jam and they were like, "Oh my God, you're so good at this. You should do this." This is what Megan always had intended. And had she done it the right way, especially this whole community thing, since allegedly her Montecito community outed her with them saying, "We never see them. They're
Mhm.
never around. They don't come to anything." And even Gwyneth, poked fun at it going, "I've never met her, don't know her, couldn't get past the security if I wanted to. Maybe I'll send her a pie." Then why this whole time wasn't Megan, even if she was off of social media, doing things like, teaching or co-hosting with somebody, and she'd be like, "No, it's all you." And they'd be like, pulling her up saying, "Oh, but Megan's the one who showed me how to do this." None of that happened.
Yeah. And the other thing is, okay, also, who talks like that? I moved somewhere and I wanted to make a community. I would say I moved there and I wanted to make new friends.
Yeah.
Like everything is grandiose with this woman.
It
Why
is like,
does making friendships become making, I mean,
well,
I don't
because
know.
you know why with her? Because she tells you that. Now, we'll hit on that. You did strike something there. Because she said it, she goes, "I'd rather be linked, not ranked." And so she uses friendships. Like you've heard of people doing it. You're only 6 people away, right? But she does it in such an obvious way, and that she did show on her show. It's, "Hey, I've never met this person, but I heard they like this, and this. So watch me put together all this stuff for them."
Wait, she said I'd rather be linked and not ranked?
Yep.
When did she say that?
I need to find that. Hang on. Let
And
me
it's
pull it.
in this interview?
Not this interview. No, she said it before though.
Because that's a dig at the monarchy, isn't it?
It is, but then it's also a way for her to use it at the same time because guess what? I'm linked to them. Doesn't matter where my rank is with them. I'm linked to them. I've got a title.
And the ranking matters if she's on top. If she's on top, ranking is the most important thing.
Let's see.
Yeah, Paul is saying she touches her nose. Oh, I didn't read the rest of that, Paul. But I know a lot of people say that she does it when she's not, when she's lying. And
Oop.
yeah, and it's funny that the video paused like right at that moment where she's touching her nose. Yeah.
I got it. I found it. Okay, so it's her statement that she made from her backyard conversation with Gloria Steinem in 2020 during their backyard chat for the women's empowerment platforms Makers Women. Never heard of them then, still haven't heard of them since. Steinem gave Markle a bracelet inscribed with the phrase, "We are linked, not ranked."
Wow. And when in 2020? Do you know by chance?
I think it was August 2020, August 27th, 2020.
Okay, so they were definitely out because
Mm,
their last royal event was Commonwealth Day 2020, and that was in March. So
mhm,
wow. Dude, the venom just like seeps out of this woman.
mhm.
And it makes me very now suspicious. I mean, I've noticed that she spends or she visits Gloria. I don't really know who Gloria Steinem is, but
She's
the
that
name.
feminist person, but she was like, you've got to watch the drunk history of her because apparently, she was for her time over the age for women. She infiltrated the Playboy Club. She did a huge expose about how women there were being objectified and everything. And it really was groundbreaking for its time. Okay. But watch the drunk history because they're like, she's like 37 or something at the time. Forgive me, I'm completely off right now. But they're like, "How old are you?" And she's like, 25. And they've got somebody way older. And she's like, "Mm-hmm." And so again, as far as Megan being stuck in the past and feminism, blah, blah, blah. And, way to, rip off Victoria Beckham with the whole girl power thing, right? Yeah, so God, just us realizing it's Gloria Steinem, like it reminds me of that weird video Megan just released. Like, who puts up their phone and says, "Can we get a video of me hugging you?"
Yeah. The Sidley twins, I think what they said was right. Hi, Abratasso. I think what the Sidley twins said was right, that she probably, Gloria, meaning Gloria, didn't know that it was going to be a video. She thought it might be a picture. And Megan made it a video. So
Mm.
I could totally see that being the case.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna hit play. Let's see how far we're 2 minutes into this 20-minute video. Oh my goodness. Okay, here we go.
Probably most people's assumption that if I was going to go into business, it would be fashion or beauty.
Clearly, we need to talk about that. And maybe we should ask the audience. Let's think of funny things. If we were to think of Meghan starting a business, what do we think it would be?
Cheetos for all that orange stuff.
Bronzer,
Yeah, that too. Be like,
spray
this is
tan,
great. It's edible bronzer. Archie loves this. Lily too.
wrinkled clothes, lost girl says.
Oh
Grifter,
gosh.
Lizzie, Grifter Cosmetics. Oh
You
my
don't have to
goodness.
be successful. You just have to look like you are.
Yeah, yeah. That might be it. She might be like a brand, she creates a brand of books and audiobooks and techniques of how to look the part but not be it.
Honestly, I would have so much more respect if she came right out and did that. I'd have mad respect. And I was like, look at you, Megan, own it. Because there were people who years ago were like, this is how you meet wealthy men. This is what you say. And like actual things on how to social climb. And considering that she allegedly read the rules, I wouldn't be surprised if she knew of those programs, right? But if she were to say that going, because she keeps flip-flopping, but then she never says anything. She's like, I grew up a latchkey kid. I grew up this. I grew up not having anything. And but if she were to share a story saying, but I wanted to do better. I wanted to be better. I looked at these people and I just started and I tried and you can too and blah, blah, blah. I would have more respect.
Bye, Margaret. Yeah, I would too, but she's not capable of being authentic.
No, because she's had, I think, in her mind that when I make it, this is what I want everybody to think of me. And so she's sticking to it. She changes a few things here and there, but she's still sticking to this idea she had, which makes me think, what, you thought it was going to happen in 2007?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Wow. All right, let's continue.
But those 5 years at home, I wasn't running around wearing beautiful outfits. I was probably in Birkenstocks and sweats like the rest of us.
Because she's lazy and that's her true self.
Did she say 5 years?
Mm-hmm.
Girl, it was 2.
What?
COVID.
But she keeps talking about this 5 years ago. They keep talking about the 5 thing. Again, I personally think she's obsessed with the number 5, and I'll talk about that in a later video, okay? Because she, even when she was number 6 for Suits, she went on these little independent, nobody watch things going, I'm the number 5 on Suits. I'm the 5th call, the 5th, person in the cast. There were so much where she was so obsessed with that number 5, like being in the top 5 this, 5 that. But everything that has started from the host, if you listen, was so 5 years ago, you left the monarchy, you came to California. So she's like treating it like, and that's what I thought too. This is another relaunch, not a rebrand. It is a relaunch. The same stories, the same lines, the same narrative. It's just now they'll notice me. No, this time they'll notice me. This is all a relaunch for her.
And also, she released American Riviera Orchard in March 2024.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know where this 5 years is coming from. And she wasn't sitting at home in her Birkenstocks and her sweats for 5 years.
Yeah.
No, that's not true.
It's
We've
yeah.
seen videos.
We've seen those god awful outfits. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder what is her purpose in this continual, you know what I bet it is? Maybe she's getting a lot of criticism, like, it's been 5 years and you're not self-sufficient yet. Why? Why has this business, why is it being launched now?
Exactly. Because everybody says, like, 5-year plan, 5. And so she keeps saying that, you caught something there revealing, because She keeps saying 5, 5, 5, but we didn't have a plan. We didn't have a plan. And then this came about during that time. So it's almost like she's trying to plant the seed that we didn't have a plan. So this isn't 5 years and no results. Like this just
Mhm.
came about like a year or two ago because of the way we were living.
Yeah, and it's because we needed to heal. It's yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Okay, I will press play now.
Especially during COVID or just barefoot at home. But I was making a lot of jam. So it ended up becoming the thing that really was my passion project that I
She did the jaw thing just now. Did you see it?
Authentic.
Yeah. Here, I'll play it again, but oh my goodness, Megan. Okay, here we go.
especially during COVID or just barefoot at home. But I was making a lot of jam. So it
I
ended
agree
up
with
becoming the
Stephanie
thing that
Sidley. She's trying to rip off Diane Keaton and Baby Boom.
I don't know what that reference is.
Oh my gosh. Okay, Diane Keaton,
Mm-hmm.
rest in peace. I love her.
Mm-hmm. Me
Um,
too.
she was in one of my all-time favorite movies, and that's how I discovered Diane Keaton. Because when I was growing up, I'm around the same age as Megan and William and Catherine. And so when Baby Boom came out, our parents were still saying things like, "Oh, you better marry a doctor or a lawyer." And I'm the one who was going, "No, I could be a doctor or a lawyer." And out comes this movie, 1987, Baby Boom. And it was about this high profile, somebody in mergers and acquisitions type thing. Um, and it was Diane Keaton. She had a boyfriend and they were co ops. And it was very much an 80s business, modern woman type thing. Had no plans to get married, had no plans to ever have children, career, career, career. And then all of a sudden she inherits her cousin's baby. And she's like, "What am I supposed to do with this?" So long story short, you want to talk about, feminism and equality. They weren't going to let her be a partner or executive having the commitments of a child. So she said, enough. I'm going to go buy that acreage in Vermont. Well, Diane Keaton's character, JC Wyatt, ends up buying this orchard basically, and she snowed in. She has nothing better to do than to sit there and make applesauce all day. And then she goes out and she hits the pavement. And I mean, she was first selling it. It was really cute, gourmet baby food. By the way, the packaging looks a lot like the original American Riviera Orchard packaging. Just gonna throw that out there. And it
Wow.
becomes this gourmet baby food. So when she sees, people who used to be like her coming to Vermont and going nuts over it, she hits the pavement. She starts setting up these little booths. She starts selling herself to all of these grocery stores and chains. And then all of a sudden, her old bosses come and they want to acquire her country baby food,
Hmm.
the applesauce. And so I'm just sitting there making jam. No, nobody's buying it. Okay. Nobody's buying this.
You know who else has that jam daydream?
Hmm.
Um, oh my, Olivia Pope.
Really?
Yes, Olivia Pope in Scandal. That was her daydream with the president, that they would buy a home in Vermont and she would make jam.
I'm gonna have to go watch that series because I've caught it here and there. So I didn't, pay attention to like the whole main story. It was like, hey, this episode type thing. So that's interesting.
Yeah, it's on my list of videos to make, to clip that part of Scandal and put it side by side with what Meghan says. And we know that one of Meghan's favorite characters was Olivia Pope,
Oh
and
yeah.
and she really liked Kerry Washington. And
Hmm.
yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. Oh, look. This is what we were just talking about. I was just telling Resting Dollface before this, I'm like, if you ever want to start a podcast together, like I'm all in.
Yeah, like I said, let's sit and talk and let's talk about that.
Yeah, it's literally like having a conversation with a friend. Like it's easy. It's easy. Yeah. Yeah, Olivia Pope was her favorite, EDF says. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Okay, so I will press play again.
really was my passion project that I turned into a business.
Amazing. And that became As Ever, which
That
you
became As
launched
Ever.
about a year and a half ago, and went through a rebrand. I'm curious, you had one of your ventures was a podcast called Confessions of a Female Founder.
Yes.
About a year and so change after launching a company like that, what would your confessions be? Has it been harder than you thought, easier than you thought, more rewarding, harder? What's the takeaway?
Well, I think year one for any founder is just a lot of learns. And so we found.
Okay, we're gonna talk about this
Do it.
because we were talking about it earlier. They're called lessons.
Yes. I feel like she is so desperate to go viral and quote unquote break the internet. Kind of like when, she tried to, with that Father's Day card, she somehow got turned into a book, with the whole pump. She is so desperate to have something attributed to her. And it's a shame because just like she's passed over Archie, she keeps, throwing aside the viral thing that she did make go viral, which was grifter. Hashtag grifter.
Yeah, hashtag grifter.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, MCF. Okay, you know how last week I made that video of Harry not introducing Meghan? So I need to walk that back because I watched the entire thing, and actually Harry and Meghan were like passing the baton to each other. So they actually switched off twice. So Harry spoke, then Meghan spoke, then Harry spoke again, then Meghan finished it. So I don't know if that was part of the tag teaming it kind of, but I believe I made. I think it's a little bit more understandable watching the full thing why he didn't introduce her. And unfortunately, like at the time that I had made that video clip, the entire speech wasn't available yet. So
Mhm.
it was still odd though that he didn't. Yeah, Carol says they hate the term learns. Yeah.
That is just
Oh my
awful for
gosh.
me. It is off. It was one of those learns. Like, I mean, she used to say learning curve. Learn now it's a learn. Like we've heard you before. Who are you? Chat GPT in this? Like, I feel like she goes. Do you think learns would go viral? Whatever AI tells her, she goes. See, I've got the backing.
Oh my gosh. And I love how you said earlier, stop trying to make fetch happen.
Yes. Honestly, that's why Victoria Beckham show was so great because so much of it is the exact same Victoria that I saw in 2002 with that other documentary, except now it's more her versus the whole we need you to be a bubbly pop star. It's exactly what she said before, except just real and raw versus I'm Victoria Beckham, blah, 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 blah,
Yeah. Yeah. Seriously. Okay, I will hit play.
Founded As Ever earlier this year. I think the first drop was in February or March. And what you're looking for is what are the consumer behaviors and habits? What are the products that they're gravitating to? And I had this incredible fortune of having every SKU sell out within under an hour, which is amazing.
I'm stopping it here because she purposely uses jargon to make it seem that she knows more. I don't know, because she doesn't have to say SKUs. She could say every single product sold out. Right?
Exactly. And it's like, so she finally, again, I feel like she chat GPT this or she goes, oh, I've heard this used before. I heard this used before. So, okay, I've heard her say P&L twice. I'm so happy for you. Okay. But when you start, and the same thing, I'm sorry, I heard Pee Wee Herman with that. Okay. He's like, I love that story. I'm so happy for her. Because whenever she talks about these things, she says things like, so we 10x the order. Well, that's a direct reference to Grant Cardone in his book 10x. Whatever you're doing, you need to take 10 times the action if you want the results, right?
I've never
So,
heard that.
oh gosh, yes.
Wow.
He is like, so when she said it, I'm like, okay, we get you. I'm waiting for her to just pop up with Elena Cardone. Okay. She's very, very specific with the language she uses. So yeah, there's this book called the 10X rule. If you have a dream in your heart, you want to get a promotion, you want to work out, whatever, I highly recommend the book. It's an absolute fantastic read and it really gets you pumped up. Okay. So, but when she said, so all of a sudden we're going from 1,000 to 10xing that, I went, wait, did you just do what I think you did? You did. And, and so she's not using anything like, so the demand was this and the feedback was that. And so whenever you have a ratio, in this business and other business owners would know it of, and you say something like, a 30%, well, then, hey, this is where we go with this. When you have a 40%, and so she says things like, I'm stepping back. I don't know what we're going to do. We're going to offer seasonal. Based off of the way she used those jam tongs, okay, the canning tongs, I wouldn't trust her with $1 invested in her
Mhm.
business.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. Agreed. And like, look, a lot of people have products that launch and sell out. And this
Mhm.
is assuming she's telling the truth, okay? Because she has a bad track record with telling the truth. But you could still know about your products on how fast they sell.
Well, and then why isn't she saying things like, we're going a non-traditional route. We're really breaking barriers here. We're creating something new. People are calling us disruptors. And let me tell you why. Because whereas you've got other companies on the market where they make grape jelly, nothing against grape jelly. They make the best grape jelly. They're around here for years. We are tapping into an unexplored market that there's a huge demand for. So we are offering seasonal fruit. That is a completely different conversation the way that I said it. And people in the chat, please let me know. If you heard her saying something like that, wouldn't that create some sort of demand? Wouldn't that create some sort of desire to be like, ooh, this is something. Yeah, I've always wondered why we couldn't have more of this. She never speaks that way. It's just I'm so excited. We've got new things coming out. It's like the variety. Yeah, was it the variety red carpet that she walked? It's like that. She never has specifics, and then she uses a couple of keywords. Like when.
Mhm.
Oh God, keep going because I was about to say the next part.
Okay, well, before we do, there's a lot of other ways to collect data on what people like. You can
Hmm.
look at what people are saying online about it. Which product is discussed more on social media? Which one is the one that fans are raving about? Which one read the reviews of your product. You'll know what people like
And
by
then
doing
again,
that.
the whole ARO thing was, I'm sitting here going, are you serious? In this day and age, again, why wasn't she out there? Oprah took her clever, brands, clever, whatever it is, blends, and said, these are a few of my favorite things. I wish I would have gotten it in time. Why wasn't she, if this is what she was doing, this is what she's so proud of, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years in the making, then of all the things that have come to light, PR put out there was nothing put out about, Meghan is really making a name for herself with her hostessing skills. A source close to, the who's who of Montecito have said they have noticed a lot of handmade goods that are really becoming talk of the town. And one source says this, and one source, none of that. So even when her jams first went out, it was what, strawberry and raspberry?
I
The,
only
the, the
remember
first thing?
raspberry. I don't remember strawberry.
It was something like, so she had one, and then she had Nacho come out with, a different fruit and dog biscuits. And then nothing happened. You never had anything like that where there was huge buzz and you go, I used my friends and business associates as a test market without realizing it. And so as I put this together, they said, this is what I like. This is anything. She doesn't have a story because it didn't
Mhm.
happen. There was no huge demand. She wasn't becoming the next Martha Stewart or the talk of the town. Well, you're absolutely right, LA film scene,
Mhm.
but I'm pretty sure she's seen it and it's not worth reporting in my opinion.
And this is exactly like what I think too. When you want to be successful and things don't go the way that you thought, meaning things sell out, you still are able to collect data from that.
You are, and there are ways And please understand, I am not calling people liars, okay? There are so many ways to take the data you have and use it. All right? Use it in a good way. So let's just say she had a horrible P&L. Let's just say that the financials were terrible. Have you ever watched NFL football? They have a statistic for everything. You could be watching, and for some reason, the announcer will all of a sudden go, not since 1973 when it was the Browns versus the Bruins have we ever seen a kicker come offside, kick the ball to number 24. Crazy, right? Off the
Yeah.
mascot and into the field goal. They have a statistic for everything. So you really mean to tell me there was no way for her to look at it and go, we are super excited because we planned for this. We thought maybe based off of the demand and the test markets that we had, that a quantity of, and she can make up a number. And turns out we were not able to keep up with it. And unfortunately, we had to give vouchers. And I'm really grateful for the people who stood by, because even though our number was this, we had a demand of 2.5 times that, plus people on a wait list. None of that jargon, none of that just fluent business talk comes out of her mouth. Oh, look at that, Teresa.
Yeah. Thank you, Teresa, for becoming a member. Yeah. When you don't want to find solutions for something, it's easy to come up with excuses.
I mean, she really can't say something because we do know it did sell out, okay? She could have put 10 on the shelf and bought 8 herself, kind of like when Kim Kardashian bought, what was it? The calendar her mom accidentally published that was supposed to be private photos. And her mom's going, oh my God, your calendar just sold out, right? So instead of that, she could go, turns out we only planned for 30% of the demand. And what a good problem to have. We are excited.
And she makes it seem like it was a bad thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna hit play because you said there was something that's coming up after this, so I don't know exactly what it is. I'm excited to hear what you want to say. Okay, here we go.
Amazing. And also you don't learn a lot.
A lot about inventory management, supply chains, and all the rest.
Oh my gosh. So then I was doing Confessions of a Female Founder as I was building this. I'd always loved the podcast, How I Built This. And I thought, could we do something that feels a little bit like the tenor of how I'm building this? And really be candid, both talking to female founders who had scaled and sold, and equally to other founders that were on their first run.
Please hit pause for just a second. We're not going to spend a lot of time on this. Is that why she sat there and talked about it as a mother? Nothing about taste tests, nothing about getting the formula right, nothing about did you know this about the sugar to fruit ratio? Yes. Nothing. Confessions of a Female Founder sounded like a bunch of soccer moms hanging around and complaining. And they offered, in my opinion, and this is my opinion. I know there are people out there who have their own businesses, everything from Avon to Mary Kay, real estate, insurance, whatever. Anybody who has any sort of business, dude, even if you ran like a Papa John's, if you had some sort of, you're a shift lead at McDonald's, mad respect. Drop it in the comments because I'd love to know what your thoughts are of what she's saying, of what Meghan is saying, and what she's claiming she said in Confessions of a Female Founder, because I got nothing out of it business-wise. Nothing about nothing about learning. Okay? Absolutely nothing. So what she's selling now, which is probably going to get people to go back and listen, is nothing that was contained in those episodes. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to hit play.
In many ways like I was. So I was learning from a lot of the women that I invest in and also that I'm friends with. But, I think my learns were to continue to give yourself the grace to have to pivot. And you do, because that first sellout, we said, great, let's 10x the inventory for the next season.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, I have to tell you, it's very hard listening to her talk. She uses a lot of words when it's unnecessary to do it.
And it's not even nervous chatter. Okay. There are a lot of people who do scripts and everything. Absolutely, Carol. Thank you. There are a lot of people who, when they get out there and they have to do first face-to-face, that kind of thing, whether they're car salesmen, or even being a waiter or waitress, trying to make a connection and build rapport with that person to get a tip. if they go to like be our guest down in Disney World, which is an impeccable training program, cannot say enough about it. If you can't do the training because it is astronomical, get the book. Very big on books and helping yourself, okay? They will tell you things like, okay, that's nervous chatter, focus more on this. Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. You can take an online course with that, okay? Meghan fills the void with absolutely nothing. And it sounds like nervous chatter because she doesn't know what she's talking about.
And it's designed to make you stop paying attention. Like
Yeah,
that. Because there's only, we only have a certain attention span. And if you're not clear and concise and you're talking in these convoluted terms and you're using jargon, no one's listening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thank you, Teresa, for the super chat. Teresa says she learns from friends. I thought she hasn't got any, so she's learned nothing. Well said, Teresa. That's great. That's great. And actually, she did kind of admit that everyone that was on her confessions, she had financial interest in them. She was investing in them. And whatever they were either investors or friends. I don't know, Dollface, if you're talking, but I'm going to hit play.
Seasonal drop. We'll get all the metrics that we need, and then it's sold out within 4 hours.
Look at her. Oh my gosh. When she's trying to tell a story that she wants to say it was so horrible, but it's actually something that's like a good thing. What is she doing? What is she doing? Yeah. Paul says nobody knows what she's talking about. Nobody has a clue. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to press play.
Again, is amazing, but also not helpful. So I think it's just been a lot of learns and then extending and expanding the product categories to really see what those habits are and how we can show up in your home for you. So yes.
Meghan, don't show up at my home.
Dear God, no.
Please, no. Please. Yeah, I don't know. Okay.
Like, who talks like that? It's supply. It's demand. It's creating, it's as much as they were saying things like, oh, carving out a unique, progressive position within the monarchy. She's not going to apply that here. I didn't realize that there was such a unique niche in the market out there. And I feel like I'm really creating something with the audience, with the market here, because we do see it. We do see people wanting it. Nothing like that. I would admire that.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I will press play again.
Jam was the origin story, but if I begin with that within your kitchen and that's the offering, how do we continue to grow into your lives with As Ever? So that's what we're working towards, especially for Q4.
Figuring out how to meet the demand that you have from your following must be challenging. And I was hearing you say earlier that you had planned, oh, surely if we 10x this order, we will have this supply for months.
Yes.
Lo and behold, it was only a few hours.
Right.
So how are you navigating building the infrastructure behind the demand that you as a brand can make?
Wait, does that math make sense to you?
No.
If something sells out in less than an hour and you 10x it, wouldn't you expect it to be sold out in 10 hours?
Yeah,
Or you wouldn't think months.
No, well, she did. I think she misspoke there because she said it was hours, that, so it only lasted a few more hours. But what I found interesting was they had that data to begin with. And if it was so good and it was, thank you, Susan, alleged demand, and they did sell out so quickly, why wouldn't you automatically go ahead and replenish within a week at the most? They didn't.
Yeah.
And then she waited and she came like, oh, I'm taking a step back. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
It's not like she's the one making it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, the math ain't mathin'. Yep, exactly. Well, Resting Dollface, I'm gonna start wrapping it up. I want to thank everyone for being here. I want to thank you, Dollface, for being here. So everyone in the chat, please go and give Resting Dollface a subscribe and a follow. We should do this more often, and if whenever you're ready, we can do it on your channel too. So I'm very thankful, Dollface, that you are here, and thank you everyone in the audience for being here as well.
Thank you so much for having me. And I'm sorry, we tried to talk about this ahead of time. We didn't get like what, 5 minutes into her speech?
We didn't. It's exhausting. I'm
It is.
tired.
I mean, those women paid a hefty price to be there. Now, I know Selena Gomez was there and she came out and spoke. And I bet that must have been something amazing because that is somebody who balances so much. She was a child star. She, parlayed it into a lifelong career. She has her own beauty business now, too, on top of everything. She's got a TV show with two of the greats that are still, in Hollywood. And it's about a podcast. So she is touching on so many markets. But to sit through this? No.
Yeah, it's terrible. And, I'm assuming the audience, they should know business, right? Otherwise, why would they be there? They should know a little bit about it. So they can tell when you're bluffing.
Yeah.
They can tell you're an imposter. So I don't know. She's definitely not helping herself. Thank you, Lizzie, for gifting a membership. And I think I saw who got it. I just saw it. I'm Allison. Thank you. I'm Allison for joining. Yeah. Well, everybody, thank you for being here. Dollface, you and I are going to need to continue this because we only got 5 minutes into it. And I think we didn't even get into like the big stuff.
I'm so sorry, but just okay, as somebody who's been around successful people, as somebody who does know people who have been in Forbes, okay, and what the regular conversation is, and it's not hitting them up for favors or to be linked or an introduction, not that type of thing. You just genuinely pick up on stuff, and the conversation is completely different. And none of that was here in her conversation.
It wasn't. It wasn't. And you have to think about the purpose. What's her purpose for being there? What's the purpose that she was invited? Why is the audience there?
I think the audience were there for something genuine. I think she was there to be linked and to get exposure, to get a fake stamp on her brand. That is my opinion.
Here are my thoughts. People paid to be there.
Mhm.
They paid because they want to hear from people that have made successes. They want to walk away with at least a nugget of information. But
Right.
Meghan isn't giving a nugget of info. Meghan is patting herself on the back. There is nothing that I learned watching that.
Thank you. And the same thing, like she and honestly, she could have even gone into the everybody knows my love-hate relationship with social media. However, there was something, and many business owners would recognize this when there's a dream in your heart, you're going to go ahead and find a way to get it done. And like many of you, I have had those rough moments where I wanted to quit. And then I looked at the face of my children and I realized, no, they're watching me. None of that came from her lips. And I just came up with that on the fly. None of that came from her lips.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is the thing. So I used to give presentations all the time. And the first thing you do before you start planning is you ask yourself, who is the audience? What language do I need to be speaking? Meaning, how technical do I need to be? And what is it that they want from me? What is it that they want to learn from me? Meghan, because she lacks self-awareness, because everything is about her, because she has no empathy and can't put herself in other people's shoes, she's only going there to inflate her own ego, to make strategic pauses where people can clap for her, to thank the host or the interviewer because they called her a CEO.
Right?
You
And
know,
that's the thing, like, everything she shows up as, it does remind me of that Barbie, on SNL thing. It's the one where it's like Barbie's dream house and Britney Spears plays Barbie's little sister. And Barbie's like, "I was a flight attendant, I was a doctor, I raised those lost opses for a while, boy, was that a bus." Megan, there are people out there who have multiple streams of income. They started as this, and now they're this, now they're that, then they're also this too. But she's out there to get the titles of those things, not to genuinely be those people,
mhm.
but to get those titles and recognition of it and get the photo op.
Yeah.
My opinion.
Yeah. Thank you, Zen Zen, for becoming a member. I appreciate it. Yep, Paul summed it up. Megan is a fraud and everyone knows it.
Guys, should I do a taste testing of one of her spreads? Is that something anybody would want to know? Like my honest review of it? Does anybody care? I mean, I will be honest. I will sit there and without any preconceived notions, do a review if there's a demand at all.
I would love to hear your opinion on pretty much anything. So
You're
you
so sweet.
share. Yeah, so I mean, if that's something that you're interested in doing, then yeah, I almost think, I've eaten apricots before,
Mhm.
and I don't know. I never thought of making a jam with them. Am I weird? I don't know. Do they sell apricots? I don't know.
I
Like
always
apricot
pictured
jam.
it dried or like as like again, dried but cubed up, kinda sprinkled, garnish, like just enough because it was so sweet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Carol, okay.
Yeah.
I'm Allison. I will share something on another video about that, okay? In fact, just follow me if it's okay to say so on Insta and X, and I will post something soon, because I think somebody played a prank and gifted me something.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yes, I have a good idea too. So, because they were willing to try it too, and I'm just gonna leave it at that.
That's hilarious.
My first thought was to treat it like Pedro Pascal as the mom on SNL, where, the son's girlfriend gifts her vegan sliders, and she goes, "Oh my god, that's so beautiful. That's it. Thank you." And then stares at her, throws it in the garbage. So that was my first inclination, but yes,
Yeah.
no, nobody's getting my money. I value the dollar.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, thank you so much for being here, Dollface. Thank you, everyone, for being in the chat. I appreciate all of you. And go give Dollface a follow. And I'll talk to you all soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye.